Good morning, Kentuckiana. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I'm Brooke Hash. Thanks for joining us on WHAS 11 Plus. It is a somewhat foggy start to your morning, and you can see it right there behind meteorologist Matt Breland. I thought it was clouds, but that's definitely a little bit of fog and visibility issues there.
Oh, yeah, we do have a lot of fog that's impacting our roadways this morning. It is a gloomy start to the day. Visibility starting to decrease here in Louisville, only 1.7 mile visibility, same in Fort Knox and Bardstown. Over near Elizabethtown, 2.5 mile visibility, and we're going to continue staying like that throughout the remainder of the morning time. Temperatures currently into the mid-40s, a bit of a division further to the south. We've got 53 near Mumfordville, 51 in Campbellsville. Satellite and radar, we're still continuing the track of inflow of just steady cloudy skies that will be arriving throughout the entire day. We're already staying cloudy this morning, and we will remain cloudy all throughout the day. Overcast skies steadily throughout the afternoon. A few small patches, of drizzle that will be around by 12 p.m. as we head later on into the evening time. Those clouds continue with temperatures still settled into the upper 40s. We start our Thursday morning off with another overcast pattern that will be continuing throughout our Thursday afternoon until those rain showers head back our direction. So we are in for a rainy setup for Thursday and Friday. Still dry today though, just cloudy skies. On your way to school, temperatures in the upper 40s. On your way home, temperatures in the mid 50s with those cloudy conditions still sticking around with us. That's a look at your bus stop forecast. Here's an update on traffic this morning. We do have a handful of areas to report on that are going to cause a few slow spots for you guys. The main one right now is on I-64. The left-hand shoulder is blocked due to a crash on I-64 westbound after exit 17 onto Blankenbaker, and also just further down I-64 closer towards the Louisville Metro, just as you get off the Watterson headed eastbound or westbound into Louisville. It is slow this morning, and that is due to construction that's been occurring for the last few hours. Also farther down the Gene Snyder, looking slow just off that exit before you hop on the Fern Creek. That's also going to cause some slow spots. That's a look at your traffic. Brooke?
All right, thanks, Matt. Our top story this morning, nearly 100 students who were planning to attend Echo Trail Middle School next year will now be going to Crosby Middle instead. The JCPS board said without that change, Echo Trail would be at 133% capacity by next school year. The board voted to rezone those boundaries in eastern Jefferson County last night. Board member Taylor Everett told us the only option on the table to solve the overcrowding was either to rezone or build a new $100 million school in the middle of a budget deficit. The district said the conversations about redrawing the attendance boundaries for Echo Trail started about a year and a half ago, but parents were only notified a month ago.
My biggest thing is transparency, accountability, compliance, and equity. I really do feel that there's been some lack of due process.
I wish we would have done better with the communication on this. It's very clear.
The board said the boundary changes will take effect for the next school year come next fall. New this morning, report cards for Kentucky schools are out. The state's Commissioner of Education, Robbie Fletcher, said he was encouraged by statewide results. He said on average, students showed proficiency at higher rates in reading and math than previous years. Across the state, chronic absenteeism dropped from 28% to 25%. That's in reference to the percentage of students who missed 10% or more of school. Fletcher said they have been highlighting a simple message to students: you belong.
This messaging is something to tell students: you've missed school. You miss more than lessons. You miss connection with your school. You miss connection with your fellow students, and you miss on building on your own future.
The average graduation rate across the state was 93.5% for 4 years and then 94.2% for 5 years. Both rates are slightly ahead of JCPS. Well, it's been 2 weeks since the deadly UPS plane crash, and UPS Airlines President Bill Moore came to speak on the tragedy alongside the mayor and other city leaders. We're told cleanup crews have contained and captured about 95% of that oil runoff from the plane, with roughly 880,000 gallons pulled from ditches and Pond Creek. The NTSB finished its on-site investigation over the weekend, but investigators are still collecting debris. LG&E said last weekend crews replaced broken poles and damaged equipment along Grade Lane in an effort to restore power. Our Alexander Goldberg also asked Moore why we had not heard from him publicly until Tuesday.
Well, I can assure you we've been exceptionally busy. And frankly, our first priority was making sure we took care of the victims' families and making sure that they had the resources they needed.
Moore said UPS is committed to making this right for both the victims' families and survivors. He encouraged those impacted to use the Community Resource Center and said that UPS is helping fund travel, funeral expenses, and the immediate needs of families. We're expecting a preliminary crash report to be released within the next month. For business owners affected by that crash who still can't operate normally, the fear of losing customers is now starting to set in. Quantum Inc. company located off Melton Avenue near that crash site is one of them. Right now, they can only operate at 60% capacity. Employees were able to visit their property to collect some materials, but Quantum Inc.'s president, Adam Bland, said they're operating out of several locations to keep the business running. He told us he visited the Community Resource Center, but found it difficult to get clear answers, like a timeline for when they can return to normal business.
Really, the biggest challenge for us has been the unknown, which is when we're getting back in. It would be a lot easier to make decisions in terms of how we function for the time being if we knew how long that was going to be.
Bland said for the time being, they are continuing to work out of the vice president's basement and from a facility in New Albany that a customer offered to them. The U.S. Small Business Administration just approved Governor Beshear's disaster declaration request following that UPS cargo plane crash. This means businesses from Louisville and Bullitt, Hardin, Oldham, Shelby, and Spencer counties impacted by that crash may now apply for disaster loans to help them recover. The SBA identified 57 businesses damaged to some degree by that disaster after surveying the crash site. The deadline to apply for a loan is August 17th of next year. To apply, go to lending.sba.gov. And researchers at U of L's Christina Lee Brown Environment Institute are measuring the health impact from all that smoke that came from the crash. At one point, everyone within a 5-mile radius had to shelter in place as the smoke reached into southern Indiana. Researcher Ted Smith said they are studying the wastewater, focusing on homes that were underneath that cloud and looking at a variety of factors.
So the jet fuel itself, I'm not saying it's not a problem at all. What I think the concern can be is when you put a bunch of jet fuel on a bunch of other things and you light it on fire.
Smith said the data U of L collects will be publicly available and shared with the local health department. He expects it will be ready before Thanksgiving. The Louisville Orchestra is holding a free tribute concert tomorrow night to honor the lives lost in that Flight 2976 tragedy. Longtime music director Teddy Abrams said it's a deep honor to be able to offer this concert to the community.
But all music that's deeply beautiful at a time when that's a reminder of the strength of our community, the strength of the things that actually bind us and bring us together.
The concert is at the Kentucky Center for Performing Arts. Doors open at 6. The music plays at 7. While the concert is free and open to the public, you do have to register for a ticket by going to the orchestra's website. There is free parking off the garage at North 6th Street for that concert.